What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So welcome to a day in my life using the brand new iPhone 17 Pro Max. And we're kicking things off with some clips on the new cameras, and I'm going to bring you guys with me throughout my entire day using this brand new phone as a content creator, small business owner, and honestly just using it for everyday life. But first things first, we're going to knock out this run. You guys are coming with me. Let's go. Okay, so checking back into the lab, all right? Now, this is one of my favorite times of the entire year. iPhone season is very near and dear to my heart, especially being an ex-Apple employee. That was like 2011, 2012. So I wanna bring you guys along for an entire day in my life using the brand new iPhone 17 Pro Max, which I guess does bring up a good point. I wanna talk to you guys about which model I got, why I got it, and I also have gotten a lot of questions about what case I'm using, and I got a few here, so we'll talk about that as well. All right, so if you guys follow my socials, probably over the last few days, you've seen me post a good amount of content around the new iPhones, but maybe some of you that are new here, I decided to pick up the iPhone 17 Pro Max. I'm usually always a Pro Max user. I personally just prefer to have the biggest battery and also the largest screen size. Between everything I do for social media and content creation, taking photos, taking videos, editing photos, I actually edit a ton of photos on this, and even just running my business Lab Culture, I kind of just like having the biggest and baddest phone, and I had to go with that cosmic orange colorway. Now, I personally think it absolutely looks amazing. I think it's really fun that Apple decided to finally add in a bold color for a Pro model. So I had to pick that up, and I also got 1 terabyte of storage just because I shoot so much stuff on my phone. That is the phone I picked up. And then also on my other socials, and maybe I'll cover it in a YouTube video in the future as well, I did also pick up an iPhone Air. 1, I want to review it for you guys. 2, I want to review it for myself and really kind of figure out who this is for. Now, this video isn't going to be dedicated to this one, but first impressions of this, it's pretty incredible how thin it is, but I definitely don't think it's for everyone. But let me know if you guys want to see more on this in the future. And one thing I should say is it's 9:56 in the morning and my battery life is at 76%, which I would say is not way too abnormal, especially because I went for running this morning with my phone and I recorded a bunch of clips while I was out there for this vlog, obviously. So whenever you're recording a bunch of videos and it's like tracking my run, it seems to cook the battery a bit, but obviously I want to update you guys about the battery life throughout this entire video. But 9:56, we're at 76%. We'll see how this goes. Quick 75 grams of protein in and tastes amazing. If you watched one of my last vlogs, you already saw that recipe. So whenever I do these types of day in the life videos or week in the life videos, what I try to do is show how I actually use this thing in my everyday life. I am a full-time content creator. I now also own a small business called Lab Culture. You guys may have seen our apparel. So I spend the majority of my day shooting content, editing content, planning around content, or working on my business. And this is my main workhorse to do pretty much all of those things. Especially in the thick of it right now with iPhone season, over the past 4 days, I've posted 12 vertical videos around this phone and a YouTube video actually. And this will be the second YouTube video. Now I start pretty much all of my days the same now, and it's to get some sort of workout in. I've been running about 3 or 4 days a week and then also lifting 3 days a week. So today was obviously a running day. Now I need to catch up on a few emails related to content and brand deals, post a video and a couple stories. And then we got to head out downtown to a very famous spot in this YouTube channel. You guys may guess where. But before we do any of that, I actually just got a very exciting package in the mail. Speaking of small business and Lab Culture, we got some official samples for this upcoming drop. Now I've kind of teased a few of these pieces in a recent vlog. Let me find a spot with better light, hang on. All right, that's much better. I wanted you guys to be able to see this, and don't mind this giant box. That's for a future video, okay? But I've been teasing this a little bit in some of my content this week, but this will be coming out in the next collection, a nice long sleeve. I won't go into this too much in depth. I'll show you guys more of it in a future video, like the full collection, but a nice long sleeve came in, and then this is what I'm really excited about, the short sleeve. So nice little front left chest, and then that big back graphic, Lab Culture, create in silence. Absolutely fun. I honestly might throw this on. Actually, I think I am gonna throw this on. So I'm gonna throw this on real quick, drink this shake, respond to a couple urgent emails, and then I gotta tell you guys about this phone case, because this thing is sick. All right, so I got some business stuff knocked out, feeling better about that. But without a doubt, the most asked question I've received since the launch of the new iPhones is, what case will I be using on my phone? And the answer for it is a brand called Supcase. Now, they actually partnered up with me to sponsor today's video to show you guys some of their new phone cases for the iPhone 17 series. Now, they sent out a ton of different cases in different colors, but this one right here is my personal choice, and it's called the Supcase UB Grip. And personally, I think the transparent and black accented case along with that orange phone is such a good looking combo. Or I feel like if you guys have seen the whole Master Chief trend, the green actually works pretty good with the orange as well. Now, you guys may have seen over this past week, some people talk about the durability of these new iPhones. Apple actually moved away from the previous couple years being titanium that was a little bit more durable back to aluminum. So people are already getting their phones kind of scratched up, especially with these new colors. So as much as I would love to use my phone without a case, I'm always moving fast, so I drop my phone way too often. So this year's an absolute must to wear a case in my opinion. Now, there's a few reasons why I decided to use this case. I personally like the rugged kind of look and feel of these cases, but they aren't giant and they're not super bulky, so they still can fit in your pocket. As you can tell, the case protects your entire phone. It even has specific cutouts for the camera lenses, and they actually have military grade protection. Now, if you take a close look here, the four corners have something called airbag technology, and your camera control button's even covered, but still functions completely normal. But without a doubt, my favorite part of this phone, and is a non-negotiable for me with phone cases, is having a built-in kickstand. And what I like about the kickstand is, one, you can use it to just actually grip and hold your phone a little bit better. Or if you're consuming content, you can obviously prop your phone up like that. It also works if you want to prop up your phone sideways, or if you're like me and shoot content, it can help prop up your phone to make sure you get the right angles. The whole opening section of today's video, running outside, I was using this phone case with it propped up with that kickstand. And it's still MagSafe compatible, so you don't have to worry about that either. So there's two main phone cases they sent out, the Supcase UB Grip, and then also the Supcase UB Grip Pro. Personally, the UB Grip is the one I'm going to be going with, but the UB Grip Pro case is if you just want the most protection possible. It's very similar designs, just slightly bulkier, and it comes with a fully tempered glass screen protector, so you really have nothing to worry about. So if you guys want to check out any of these cases for yourself, it'll be the first link down in the description below. And shout out to Supcase for sponsoring today's video and supporting the channel. Now let's get back to it. Now that we got a bunch of stuff done here in the office this morning and some business stuff knocked out, there's actually a very important errand I need to run downtown Chicago. And if you guys have watched any of my previous iPhone or Apple event coverage videos in the past, it's kind of tradition at this point, and it's a perfect tie-in with this video specifically. So I'm gonna pack up some of my stuff, we're gonna hit the road. And we might need a coffee too. All right, so we just pulled up to the iconic Michigan Avenue Apple store. If you guys watched some of my reels over this past weekend, you'll know that I filmed a couple of my videos literally right here on the stairs. But this is one of the coolest Apple stores in the world. Chicago. This is one of the coolest Apple stores in the entire world. It's actually shaped like a MacBook. That's the lid, at least I think so. And it's actually right on the river. It's 2 stories. It's absolutely insane. It was actually in the keynote for the iPhone 17, if you guys caught that. I don't know why Apple didn't call me when they were here filming, but it's all right. But anyways, the reason why we're here is I actually have a second pair of the new AirPods Pro Generation 3. I actually have my pair in right now, but I ordered a pair online when they got announced, but then I ended up just picking up a pair here when I picked up my phone the morning of launch. So now I have an extra set, so I'm gonna return them real quick. And what better place to do it than this store right here? I'm not gonna lie, silver looks good, but I still think orange is the color this year in my opinion. But silver is a close second. Super clean. I'll tell you what, being able to have this type of an Apple store as like my home store is pretty incredible. It just never gets old. It's such a vibe in there always. I decided to pick up a couple things. One, you'll have to wait for a future video for, but two, you guys know I'm a big Beats fan, so they actually make USB-C cables now. I figured I'd check one out, see if it's actually worth the money or not. But a couple things real quick. Number one, I do want to touch a little bit more on the AirPods Pro Generation 3. Now, I'm a huge AirPods user. I've talked about that in so many videos, but the AirPods Pro 3 are significantly better than the Generation 2, in my opinion. I talked about this a little bit more in my last video, but I've been using these since the day they came out, and they sound so good. The noise cancellation is way better. The transparency mode is better as well. But for me, more than anything, the fit is better. So absolutely love these. But absolutely beautiful day in downtown Chicago. It is perfect weather. I think it's 68 degrees. I think first day of fall was yesterday or sometime this week. And I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. The boat's going by, perfect weather, a little windy out here, but absolutely can't complain at all. And a quick battery update is 212, and we're sitting at 57% battery. And yes, that's a new wallpaper pack for those that are wondering. Crazy good feedback on them so far. But while we're down here, also going to take some photos using the iPhone 17 Pro Max to really show off these cameras. One for this video, and then also two, I'm working on kind of a swipe post for Instagram. If you didn't know, they now have an 8x zoom, and it looks incredible. And what better place to test it out than downtown Chicago with all these different skyscrapers and beautiful scenery. So gonna test out some photos with this. And I think, you know what? I think it's time for a coffee as well. So that might be priority number one. Okay, now another huge improvement this year is that front camera that I mentioned. It's now an 18 megapixel, what they're calling a center stage camera. And it's awesome. So it basically has a square sensor. And right now I just want to walk around a little bit so you guys can see how it actually looks in some different lighting. It obviously looks a little bit better when the sun is in my face, but it's a little bright that way. So we're just gonna walk around a little bit. But what's cool is it's a square sensor. So you can now not only shoot vertical photos and videos, a wider selfie photo, but then also right now, I'm actually holding the camera vertically and I'm able to shoot horizontally for both photo and video. So right now this is on the front camera, and to me it is a drastic improvement from the previous years. That's something that I've been saying we've needed for a minute, was a better front facing camera. I still wish in horizontal it was a little bit wider, but I'll take a selfie right now so you guys can see what I'm talking about, how much wider it is. But it is just way more comfortable to hold the phone vertically and not having to rotate it to the side. So yeah, let me know how it looks, but from my testing so far and just what it looks like right now, it honestly is really nice. Okay, so I just took a photo in the selfie mode, vertically, horizontally, without moving at all, so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. And then also right now, I want to compare the front camera for video versus the back camera. So right now, this is the front camera. It's a little cloudy, so the lights change a little bit, but now this is the 0.5 lens, and you can kind of see an image quality difference there. So let me know how it looks, but first impressions from the few clips I've shot so far, and also just testing, looking at the phone itself, the front camera is legit usable now. All right, so this is gonna be a true test right here. I'm filming this on the front iPhone 17 Pro Max camera. As you can tell, I'm filming BTS on the FX3. And if you guys didn't know, with iOS 26, you can now use your AirPods as an external microphone. So instead of carrying one of those Rode lav mics or DJI or whatever brand, you can actually use your AirPods. Obviously, the AirPods 3 are going to be the best. The microphones are supposedly improved as well. I believe you can use these with the AirPods Pro 2. I'm not sure what all other generations, but this is just kind of a good test for how the front camera actually looks in pretty good lighting. It's nice overcast right now, but also how the microphone sounds in this as well. So I've tested this out a little bit. I've been impressed so far, but definitely let me know in the comments below what you guys think of it. But you got to think, so many people these days use their iPhone to create content. Some people use only their iPhone. Someone like me utilizes their iPhone in addition to real cameras, and it's starting to get closer and closer what you can tell what's a real camera and what's a phone. But filming on your phone is just so easy. So now with the added support of AirPods being able to be your microphone, this is huge. Absolutely huge. And I will say for video, I'm filming everything in just the standard picture profile. I might do an entire separate video kind of diving into log and everything like that. But like I mentioned earlier in this video, I'm just showing how I would actually shoot with this phone. Log footage is great and it does look really amazing. But if I'm shooting video on my phone, it's usually insert clips, or I kind of want it to look more like phone footage, I guess, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm just shooting everything in standard. Also, I should say, I hit up Blue Bottle. It's arguably one of my favorite coffees ever. I got an orange blossom latte with almond milk, iced, of course, and it is absolutely slapping. You know, it's kind of funny, but being in downtown Chicago and living here now for like 5 years, you have your go-to spots here in the city. And I think I talked in this exact spot 1 or 2 years ago now, maybe 3 years ago, during an Apple launch, that for years it was my goal to work at Ghost that's located right over there. And then fast forward, I made it happen, and every single day my commute to work was across that bridge or the next bridge. You know, obviously we've moved on from that, and now I'm doing this full time for a living, but sometimes those things just kind of hit you. But amazing chapter of my life, and it's just always cool to kind of look back on things like that. Definitely very grateful for you guys. Very, very grateful. But as for right now, I'm gonna take a couple more photos on my phone, then we gotta head back home because there's actually a little bit of stuff we need to do for lab culture before this day is over. All right, so just made it back home, and as you can tell, we got a few PR boxes in. So real quick, we're gonna speed run these, all right? And by the way, it is now 5:25, and our phone is down to 27% battery. But keep in mind, I filmed a ton of videos and also a bunch of photos as well, which is definitely heavy on your phone. And with all these PR things, I'm probably gonna take a photo or video of each, edit it on my phone, and upload it to stories too. So first one, because I'm actually excited about this, is from Anabar, which is cool because I've actually bought stuff from them a bunch of times in the past. I feel like I've actually shown them in a vlog before. Nice little PR box. Again, you guys know I always appreciate that. And then check out what's inside. First of all, we got an air freshener and then a bunch of their flavors. So we got Monster Cookie, Death by Peanut Butter, Cookies and Cream, Fluffernutter, Chocolate Wasted. I would say my favorite that I've had is Cookies and Cream, but these are slightly higher calorie protein bars. They're 290 calories, but they market them as a protein-packed candy bar, so you get 20 grams of protein. But they are so good. So shout out to them. That was a nice, pleasant surprise. This one, I had no idea was coming. This was from OnStar. It's cool because we did a project, or actually we've done 2 projects now, and they just sent out a nice little gift, just like as a thank you for working together throughout this year. So nice little handwritten note. We got some swag, but this is probably what I'd use the most. Nice little Yeti tumbler. So shout out to the OnStar fam. Let's run another project back ASAP. There's 3 products in this box from a brand that actually I've been wanting to work with, and they sent out some new tech. There's 3 things in here, I think 2 of which are under embargo, so I don't know which ones I can or can't show. So you guys will have to wait for the next video for that. I'll show you guys in the next vlog, but very excited for that. And then last but not least, check out this huge package from Under Armour. So the first thing right here is a pair of casual shoes from Under Armour. You guys know I'm a fan of green, so excited to try these out. I don't know the last time I had a pair of Under Armour shoes, to be honest with you. So definitely excited to try this out. And then this right here, I gotta flip this camera around to show you this. This might be the biggest PR haul I've ever gotten. So not just 1, but 2, 3 pairs of shoes. These are part of their running collection, I believe called the Halo collection, and they look mad comfortable. So definitely gonna try these out for a run, maybe tomorrow or this weekend. And then even some apparel. We got some performance stuff, some shorts, a tank, I think another pair of shorts, and then some oversized t-shirts as well. A bunch of stuff in here. I mean, just so crazy. And then a nice handwritten note there as well. So shout out to my guy, Steven. This is unbelievable, dude. And I really, really appreciate it. Stuff like this is still surreal to me, to get packages from brands that I've bought from since, I don't know, you're a kid, right? So honestly, pretty cool. Shout out to all these brands. I'm going to take some quick photos real quick on my phone, edit them in Lightroom Mobile using my presets, and then post up some stories, tag them, and say thank you because this is awesome. Now, related to iPhone stuff, this is a recent pickup I just grabbed. It's a collaboration between Kith and Birkenstock, and look at those details on these. They're actually really sick. I've never been a Birkenstock or owned a pair of Bostons before, but I saw these and I feel like I needed them. But you guys should know me. Whenever I get a new pair of shoes, I gotta take some fire photos of them. Why I'm bringing that up now is because I actually wanted to test out the 48 megapixel sensor and cameras, because now on the iPhone 17 Pros, all 3 of the back cameras now utilize a 48 megapixel sensor. So I shot some Apple Pro RAW photos of these Birkenstocks. I'll throw them up on the screen so you guys can see them, but the detail on them is insanely impressive. I'm actually very, very impressed. Being someone who takes photos on a daily basis, especially on their iPhone, having the ability to shoot a higher megapixel or shoot in RAW when I want to is a very nice thing to have, and it's something that I utilize all the time. Pretty much any photo that I post on social media, even on my Instagram stories, I'm editing that photo. So having the flexibility with that higher megapixel or being able to shoot RAW comes in clutch. And the telephoto lens got the biggest upgrade this year, but I would say even the 1X and 0.5 seem to have gotten at least a small bump as well. All right, so right now we're headed over to the locker. Need to drop off a few things for lab culture. I figured this would be a good excuse to film a couple more clips on the iPhone 17 Pro Max, just to see how the footage looks, also how the audio looks. And it also is probably gonna be a little dark in there, so this could be a good low light test as well. Alright, so fun fact, there's actually no lights in here. It's a perfect excuse to see how low light looks on this camera. So right now we're starting to prep for one of the next lab culture drops. It should be within the next few weeks, depending on when this video actually drops. So stay tuned to my socials. And then it's on to Black Friday, which is gonna be huge. But I know you guys have seen some sneak peeks already, and it's actually the hat I have on. But this is the first shipment of these hats that will be dropping. That's all I'm gonna show you guys right now. But I think this is gonna be a really cool drop in collection. So needed to drop this off. Need to tidy up a couple of things before we get out of here. It's a little chaotic and messy after this last drop, but every single day I'm doing some sort of work towards, this business. And like I mentioned, my iPhone plays a key role in that, whether it be shooting content, editing content, doing communications between graphic designers, manufacturers, doing back-end stuff on Shopify. And all of those things go into play as to why I like that Pro Max size, especially because of the battery life. So yeah, I'm going to drop this stuff off, organize a couple things, and then we're gonna be out of here because it's getting dark. All right, dinner tonight is what you guys have seen me eat pretty much every night that's not like a fun meal on the weekend. 8 ounces of 96.4 ground beef, 1 cup of jasmine rice, a little bit of spicy ranch on top. Gotta have a little Sprite Zero. That cherry lime is the absolute GOAT. Just taking a few minutes away from staring at a screen. Gonna eat this before we sit back down in the lab. And right now it is 8:07 and my battery is at 17%. That actually lasted me the majority of the day. I'm kind of surprised, to be honest. I've been heavily using my phone to shoot with, but also I guess there's been some downtime where I'm really not using my phone much at all. I'm starving, gonna eat this, and then we gotta get back to the lab. All right guys, so checking in a little bit later. I've been glued to this computer, just knocking out some stuff. This is pretty much typical for me in the evening, kind of like 8 p.m. to midnight, I kind of clock back in to get some work done, and it just kind of depends what it is, whether it be creative work, business stuff. Tonight, I actually had to handle a couple things for lab culture, future graphic design things, and then right now I'm actually sitting down to start chopping up the video that you guys are watching right now, just because this one has a pretty tight turnaround. I want to get out ASAP around the new iPhones. And I know I've shared a lot of my thoughts on this phone so far in this video, but just kind of concluding thoughts here. Like I said in my last video, kind of talking through why I bought what I did, which you guys should check out if you haven't. The iPhone 17 Pro Max is amazing. It's not a revolutionary upgrade from the 16, but for me, those small improvements like that front camera, like the 48 megapixel sensor for all cameras on the back, and overall, I'm really happy with this. But like I said in that previous video, for someone that does content or uses their phone for business so much on a daily basis, it's so easy to get into these programs where every single year you can upgrade now if those little incremental upgrades are important to you. So that's personally what I do. I think for the average person, you probably don't need to upgrade phones every year. You could probably get by for every 2 to 4 years. It just kind of depends how you use your phone and what's important to you. And then one last check-in here. It is 10:13 and my battery is down to 9%, which honestly is pretty good. I feel like that's pretty similar to last year's phone. Every time you have a new phone and a new battery, of course it's gonna be a little bit better. So yeah, that's the iPhone 17 Pro Max. And this was a day in my life using this device as a full-time content creator and a small business owner. And honestly, got the job done. and it did it really well. So guys, drop any questions you might have about the iPhone 17 Pro Max in the comments below. I will try to answer everything that I can, or maybe if there's something specific you guys want to see me cover, or maybe I missed. And let me know if you guys want to see something similar for the iPhone Air, or maybe even the Z Fold 7 or the Z Flip 7. We got a lot of phones going on in here right now. But guys, that's gonna be it for me in today's video. If you made it this far into the video, comment the word mocha. That's actually what we did in one of the previous videos, but she's laying here passed out again, so I feel like it's just the go-to. So comment the word mocha if you've made it this far into the video. I appreciate you guys more than ever. And one more time, shout out to Supcase for sponsoring today's video. I highly recommend you guys checking them out for yourself. It'll be the first link in the description. If you enjoyed watching this video, drop it a thumbs up. If you're new around here, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.